Last night, the Central Coast Mariners and Melbourne City bade farewell to 2024. And after Auckland and Victory played out a scoreless draw across the ditch, it's our turn to ring in the new year. May it be full of goals, clean sheets, nutmegs, 1-2s and slide tackles. Whatever the round ball can do to put a smile on your face for 2025. What better place to start than right here at Combank Stadium on Darug country for two of the form sides in the Isuzu UTE A-League competition. You can see them there on the tunnel cam. The home side, the Western Sydney Wanderers, with 3 wins in their last 4. They are looking for a third straight victory for the first time since March 2021. It has indeed been a long time between drinks for the Wanderers. They take on a Macarthur side who are eyeing off provisional second place on the standings. They are undefeated in their last 5. Plenty to talk about on this 1st of January. It's a historic day for the referees as well. Juan Mata, as you can see, is back in the starting lineup. And the Wanderers are without their coach, Alen Stajic, suspended. He will watch the game from up in the stands. Big afternoon in Western Sydney for Juan Mata and the Wanderers. And with the matches coming thick and fast and injuries and suspensions with them, the Wanderers have made 4 changes. Gabriel Cleur is suspended, so it's 19-year-old Jesse Cameron who makes his pro debut at right back. Dylan Shakluna is out for the season, and so Juan Mata comes in. Božidar Krajev and Zach Sapsford also return as top scorers for the Wanderers. Brandon Varello and Nick Milanovic head to the bench. Massive afternoon for Juan Mata, just his 3rd start of the season after coming off the bench in the last 6 games. The Spaniard will be looking to have an influence. The Euro winner, the World Cup winner, the Champions League winner, now with his chance to make a mark in the A-League. While for Macarthur, 2 changes for Mile Sturjovski's side that beat Perth last Friday by 3-0. Dino Arslanigic, the Belgian central defender, returns from a back complaint that kept him sidelined for the last 3 games. And Ariath Piol, who scored that amazing bicycle kick against Sydney FC earlier this season. He got the 3rd against Perth last Friday, so he makes a return to the starting 11 as well. Matt Yeoman and Liam Rose drop out of the 11. Belair Germain, the French captain of Macarthur, making his 51st appearance in this, his 2nd season with the club. He needs 2 goals to take his total to 26 and equal Uli Davila's all-time, all competitions record for the Bulls. There is the man replacing Alen Stajic on the bench, Nawel Ararte. The Argentine-born Sydney sider played NSL football for the Wollongong Wolves, amongst others. He has been Alen Stagic's assistant at the Central Coast Mariners, the Philippines national women's team, the Matildas, Perth Glory, and now here at Western Sydney as well. And there is Mile Sturjovski alongside his French assistant coach, Christophe Gamel, looking to continue what has been a good season for them so far. 2024 ended with them as Australia Cup champions, winners of that competition. And more history today. We have an all-female refereeing crew on the job. Casey Rybelt, the central referee, Emma Kotzbeck and Maddie Ullum, the assistants, Rebecca Durkow, the 4th official, and in the VAR room, Kate Jakovitz and Joanna Caractus. Melissa King is the match commissioner as well, so a little bit of history being made here in Western Sydney this afternoon. And it is Macarthur that get us underway. Welcome to 2025 and the A-League action. It promises to be a fantastic year, especially for these 2 sides who are finding some form, Phil Moss, and looking to carry that into the new year.
They certainly will be, Robbie. Happy New Year to you and all our viewers. And this promises to give us a really happy new year if both teams play to form. Not much separating them on the ladder. A few places, but only 1 point, so plenty to play for today.
Well, there have been plenty of goals between these two sides of late as well. As here goes Keely Adamson, charging down that right side. He's managed to keep it in play. Now we've still got a Macarthur player down on the ground. It's Valère Germain who's holding the inside of his ankle.
Yeah, it was an ugly...
Ooh, yes, there's a lunge in there from Kraev.
Yeah, it was an ugly tangle. Not sure if Kraev's studs were up or raised. It certainly looked uncomfortable for both Germain and Kraev, as you can see.
Well, that's got to be... Well, we've had a precedent set just a couple of days ago in the Big Blue. Now, Casey Rybelt has a big decision to make already. Now, he's been given a yellow card immediately, Božidar Kraev. Valère Germain. He's up on his feet. He's asking the question of the referee's assistant, and barely 2 minutes in. Well, accidental it may have been, but that was some fairly tough contact on Valère Germain. Free kick to the back post. The header back in. And the header from Arslanigic claimed by Lawrence Thomas.
Well, I'm going to back Casey Rybelt there with that early decision, as we just see that Macarthur half chance. Quite comfortable for Lawrence Thomas in the end, but I just think common sense prevailed there, because you've got to look at the intent, and I don't think the intent was there. So a sensible decision, particularly this early in the game. I'm not suggesting time should dictate a referee's decision. I think common sense prevailed.
I'm not sure, though, Mossy, that intent is anywhere in the rule books anymore either in that kind of challenge. I understand what you mean. Like, it was... Kraev is not looking to cause any damage there, but he absolutely could have done it. Valère Germain, who can consider himself a little bit lucky to still be out there. Yeah, that's right. Call me a traditionalist. I know intent might not be in the letter of the law, but I think it is in the common sense book, if you like. Priestman on the right with former Australian schoolboy captain Jesse Cameron, his first outing with the first team, just 19 years of age, the former Blacktown City junior, wearing the number 41 at right back. Interestingly, with Gabriel Cleur suspended after being the first man in the race to 5 yellow cards this season, by quite some distance as well. It's Cameron that got the nod ahead of Aidan Simmons, who's on the bench, as Germain releases Jed Drew. Piol making the run to the back post. Keely Adamson's done well again with Jake Holman. Macarthur just giving Western Sydney a little glimpse of what they can do in transition. Yakulish now looking to get it on the right. Well, the good news in that passage of play was Germain's ankle looks fine, because he made that challenge to win the ball and set Jed Drew on his bike. It was a little bit, I thought, hesitant from Jed Drew, who was absolutely on fire over in Perth in their last outing. I thought he could have been a little bit more direct with that ball from Germain. Walter Scott's ball in. Oh, Kraev turns away from Drew and Adamson. Bratton wins it back with the help of Germain. Walter Scott with Yakulish. Not a bad first touch from Germain again. Scott's cross is blocked by Priestman. Yeah, beautiful first touch from Germain, taking on the outside of his right foot, showing all his balance and poise, experience, and execution under pressure as well. Throw towards Ariaf Piol. Came off the bench to get Macarthur's third in Perth. The 3-0 victory. Holman now. Jones with Arslanagic. Then Jedru. Back with Arslanagic.
Yeah, Mile Stojovski will be absolutely desperate tonight to build on what is starting to build for them in the consistency stakes, which is something he was quite critical of earlier in the season. With 2 wins, 2 draws in the last 4. And a very good performance over in the West, it must be said, against Perth.
This is nice football again. Holman into the area. Ball, not intentionally so for Jakulic, but they have a first corner of the contest, the away side.
Just building some sustained pressure here, Macarthur, on the home side, as we see as Jack Clisby keeping Holman onside across the other side of the pitch.
Down in front of the red and black block. Jakulic takes it short with Holman. Jakulic again. Ball to the back post. Oh, missed by Lawrence Thomas. Playing his 50th match for the Western Sydney Wanderers. And it was Ollie Jones and Germain at the back post who couldn't steer it in.
Well, he completely misjudged the flight of that, Lawrence Thomas, which you don't hear very often. Jakulic just floats it to that back post area. You can see Thomas, and all of a sudden there's a real look of urgency about him as he sees the ball fly over his right hand.
Massive let-off for the Wanderers. Germain, who has 4 goals, he's eyeing off Ulysses Davala's title as all-time leading scorer in all competitions for the Bulls. He needs 2 more. He perhaps should have had one then. Mata looks long towards Sapsford, who's been wearing that mask since breaking his nose on the opening day of the season. I wonder if now he's just keeping it on for good luck. He has been amongst the goals and the assists as well.
Well, it's not an easy thing to do, playing the type of form he has been with a mask like that on your face.
He's bundled over there by Ollie Jones.
He certainly made a good fist of it. There's Zach Sapsford as we see the foul come in. Ollie Jones not really leaving Casey Roybelt with too much of a decision.
There's the free kick taken quickly into the area. Western Sydney Wanderers are asking for a handball.
Well, it was from Antonsen on to Ollie Jones. Kate Jakowitz will be looking at Ollie Jones and whether he did handle this.
Alain Germain wants play to continue. Yeah, that hasn't hit an arm at all. Through the legs.
Through the legs, and luckily for Ollie Jones, because the hand was away from the body. Nothing to see here. Play on.
And a little scare at the other end after a more than bright start for Macarthur. 5 without loss coming into this one for the Bulls. Mile Stojovski's side are eyeing off the top places in the league. To do that, they need to win consistently. Priestman driving forward. The header away by Arslanagic. Cameron has front position. Pelekanos with Mata. Here is Juan Mata, quickly looking to face forward with Priestman. Plenty of interest in Mata's performance today as the ball in. We know how good he is in the air. Marcus Antonsen scored a fantastic goal to get Western Sydney back into the game in Adelaide. They came from behind for the first time this season to get that 3-2 win. Unfortunately, it came at a cost with Dylan Shikluna injuring his knee, a ACL injury, which will rule him out for the rest of the season.
Just another example of the highs and lows of professional sport, professional football for Shikluna. Wasn't that long ago that he was celebrating a man of the match performance with an absolutely fantastic strike in off the underside of the crossbar here. Now he finds himself out for the rest of the season. We wish him, of course, a full and speedy recovery.
Priestman, space down the right-hand side for Jesse Cameron. Drives it in low towards Sapsford. And a really delicate, clever attempted finish from Zach Sapsford, and it wasn't far away.
No, it certainly wasn't. First of all, credit the delivery from young Jesse Cameron. He's picked the pass, and players in those wide areas, if they can see across as a pass, they more often than not hit the target. On that occasion, he put it on a platter for Sapsford, and he just couldn't keep it down, but you could see exactly what he was trying to do using the pace of the ball. Really good opening for the home side.
Well, both sides have been very good in the air, courtesy of their crossing, while Macarthur provide more crosses than any other side in the competition. The Western Sydney Wanderers, as we just saw with that illustration from Cameron, are the most accurate. 30% of their crosses find their mark, as that one did for Sapsford. Cameron again with Germain, brings it down with Yakulish. Flags up for offside though.
Well, it's disappointing from a Macarthur point of view, particularly a player of Yakulish's experience, to be caught offside in that situation when you're looking right across the line.
Bonatig, who's had a very good season, played every minute for Western Sydney so far, the number 4 at the back. Pelekanos has come in to replace the injured Korean defender Jong Tae-wook, still missing. That's a nice turn from Kraev. Ball in towards Antonsen, and just evading Macarthur, was missed by Cameron. Yakulish. 3 forward for Macarthur. Germain for Yakulish again. Pjol wants it. Back post is Jed Drew. Yakulish decides he might have to go it alone. Gets it back out to Walter Scott. Germain making that second run. Jed Drew is there. And he strikes again. And Macarthur have the opening goal. It looked as though they may have lost their way. They kept their hands. And they lead at Combank by 1-0, 13 minutes gone.
When you're hot, and Jed Drew is certainly that at the moment. Off a couple of goals in the West last start on the Harvey Norman replay, they get a little bit lucky in this instance. Yakulish, first of all, he stands on the ball, tries to find his half a yard. You think he's lost control there. And he's lucky with a bit of a deflection, but it's right into the path of Jed Drew, who makes no mistake from the... Will be disappointed here, and he gets a hand on it, but not enough to keep it out of his net. Jed Drew, what a form, what a run of form he's in at the moment.
Well, there you see it. 4 goals to go with 5 assists this campaign. He leads the way in terms of goal involvements. And if we count Milanovic and Borello on the bench, we have the top 4 in the league, with Yakulish, a great assists provider this season as well, Jed Drew. And now Kraev, as the Wanderers look to hit back immediately. That's the 8th time this season that Macarthur have opened the scoring in this, their 11th match. 1 scoreless draw. They've only fallen behind twice. And that's now 12 first-half goals for them this season, and another early one here inside the opening 15 minutes. Nicely done, Germain.
Well done, Germain. But a good retort from Western Sydney as well. Having just gone behind, they go right up the other end of the field. Some good little combination play as we see the foul on Germain. Look at that technique and awareness of where the space was from Germain.
Keely Adamson looks long again for Jed Drew. Germain gets it again. Back with Adamson. Here's Holman. for the first time already this afternoon, finding himself deeper than Luke Bratton. Try and open up for those deep-lying playmaking possibilities. This is something Macarthur wanted to work on, holding possession, but not just sterile. Make something of it when teams sit back against them. They are very much a transition side, but they can struggle when they have a lot of the ball to break down a low block. It's nicely done by Ollie Jones. Here's Holman again with Scott. Another 1-2. Mata hooks it away. Yakulish again towards Pjol. It's well defended that time by Jesse Cameron, but Macarthur have it again.
We just mentioned Juan Mata, of course, gets a start today. The pressure will be on him to show why he should have been in the starting 11. A lot of talk about why he should or shouldn't start. I'm sure he can handle that pressure too, Robbie, given the career that he's had.
I don't think we could generate enough pressure here in Australia for it to have any effect on Juan Mata. What we can provide him is the love of the game, and it's great to see him out on the pitch on a very warm 1st of January in Western Sydney. 29 degrees at kick-off. Probably like playing back home in summer in Spain. Here he is again, that left foot. Great ball for Clisby. He looks up. Cross blocked by Jed Drew. Behind for a corner.
Well, as you'd expect from Juan Mata, pinpoint diagonal pass into the path of Jack Clisby. Just needed one touch to get it out of his feet and deliver with the second, which was deflected for the corner. But what Juan Mata's appearance today is doing to Macarthur is making sure that Walter Scott and Jake Holman.
Here it comes in, back post, driven back in by Pelaukanos. It might yet fall for Kraev. Mata's there again, blocked by Bratton.
Yeah, the positioning of Juan Mata is definitely making sure when he goes into that pocket that Walter Scott's tracking him in, which is opening a lot of space for Jesse Cameron over the top for Western Sydney Wanderers if they can find him. We've already seen one chance generated by that exact tactic.
Yes, perhaps the flip side to that is how much protection is he offering Jesse Cameron as well, because Marin Yakulish has already been lively. As with Jed Drew, we know that that's the big threat of this Macarthur side. Cameron towards Sapsford. Was a nice first touch. And the free kick awarded by Casey Rybelt.
There's good football from Western Sydney down this right-hand side. As we see the ball played in by Cameron into Sapsford, not for the first time this evening. A pretty run-of-the-mill refereeing decision there for Casey Rybelt.
Zach Sapsford, who has been involved so much in the attacking play. 3 goals, 1 assist so far this season for him. Now Mata is there. Brillante steps over. Mata's ball near post. Headed behind by Holman. Corner to follow. Well, we've seen Western Sydney come back a week ago against Adelaide. They're trying to do that here. Corner's taken quickly. Mata's attempted cross blocked. Cameron has managed to take out Luke Bratton. And now Mata with Clisby. Drives it in low towards Sapsford. Adamson's done well. Now Bratton's gone back down to ground. Macarthur with Yakulish again.
Well, he's doing the best he can, Luke Bratton, to stay on his feet, but anyone who's been hit in that region will know that that is not an easy thing to do. So have the ball, take your mind off it.
Exactly, still struggling. He's got to run it off. Macarthur have done well to patiently move the ball around from right to left and back again. Now Mata, clever ball inside with Brillante. Antonsen, Mata again. Nice football as he looked wide for Sapsford, who'd come inside. It will be an attacking or defensive throw rather for Macarthur FC. Mata asking the question of Casey Rybelt.
Asking the question or a little bit of coaching on the run, somewhere in between maybe. He was caught a little bit late, but I think the ball had gone. Certainly wasn't under control.
Pelekanos with the defensive header forward. He's been excellent since coming in to the centre of defence after that injury to John Tae-wook. Anthony Pantazopoulos is also back today on the bench after missing the last couple of weeks with a knock to the knee. Bonatic, little 1-2. Bonatic still going. Bratton, Arslanagic rather, going to ground. Gets back to his feet. Ball stolen away by Clisby. Now Priestman. Mata with a little bit of space to look forward. It's a good ball for Antonsen. And it's a good piece of defending from the rugged Ollie Jones. Western Sydney trying to force the error. Getting numbers forward. Higher intensity. Kraev into the area. Mata, little 1-2. It's nice football again. It's cleared. Driven back in by Priestman the second time. Blocked again. Brilliant stuff from Ollie Jones.
Outstanding from Ollie Jones. Really picked the flight path of the driven shot at goal. Just threw his body in the way.
Sapsford again. That's a nice touch from Brillante. Now Mata! Well, it's taken just 23 minutes. And Juan Mata has his first goal in Australian football. It's a new year, perhaps a new start for the Spaniard in Western Sydney.
Well, they were huffing and they were puffing, and Juan Mata eventually blew the Macarthur house down. And as soon as the ball fell for him, you just felt that he had the quality to dispatch it on the Harvey Norman replay. Look at that. You can't give Juan Mata that sort of time and space on the edge of the box. He was front and centre for most of that attack. And then he just stood back, seized the opportunity that Josh Brillante put on a platter for him. And that's brilliant. Back from the way the ball has come. So Philip Curto caught off balance, and that is a quite brilliant finish that he made look so easy.
Well, that's the quality that we've been longing to see. Just a third start, 7 appearances off the bench for Juan Mata. An assist in the 4-2 Derby loss from a corner for Marcus Antonsen. It was nothing more than a consolation that night. Perhaps this goal, a first for the former Chelsea, Manchester United, Valencia star. Perhaps that will help win over the confidence of the coaching staff as well at Western Sydney. That's been one of the big talking points. Dylan Shikluna, who's been one of the outstanding players so far this season, is missing. It's left a hole in midfield as Sapsford now lines up. He's looking through the legs of Jed Drew. Here's Bonatic. Back outside for Clisby. Nice football again. The cross. Only one to aim for in the middle. Sheets for either side. Conceding goals has been one of the features of all teams this season. Even Auckland and Melbourne Victory, who have the best defences, have got in on the act of occasion to concede goals as well. Put the entertainment values through the roof. I'm not sure the coaches are always enjoying it, Mossy.
No, from a coach's point of view, definitely not. From a commentator's point of view and a supporter's point of view, bring on the goals. Keep them coming. But Juan Mata, you just sense that he was just building himself into the game. He was picking up some really good pockets of space. And the pocket of space that really mattered was on the edge of the box. and his technique and experience took over.
Really good touches again, as Macarthur technically can play their way out of a tight space. And now look out for the pace of Ariath Piol. He is very quick. Piol, it's a brilliant run. It's a brilliant solo goal. Just too fast. Well, the lead-up play to keep that passage of play alive for Macarthur was quite brilliant at the back. And then they just gave it to Piol and said, go for it.
Wow. That will be in the highlights reels at the end of this season for solo goals of the 20th season of this competition. And you see Piol on the Harvey Norman replay. He knows where the space is, and he knows no matter who is defending against him, he's got the pace to beat them. And he takes on Bonnetig, who's been absolutely superb so far in this game, but he just hasn't got the engines to stay with Piol. And then it comes down to the execution in front of goal once he gets one-on-one with Lawrence Thomas, and that is outstanding. He's gone high. That is really, really difficult for goalkeepers to deal with. And the celebration, I think, matches the finish. Absolutely brilliant from Ariath Piol.
Well, he spent a season at the Western Sydney Wanderers. Also came through Metro Stars in Adelaide, which is where Mile Sturjovski went and got him. Last season, just a couple of appearances, one in the AFC Cup run, which ended at the hands of the Mariners.
Well, he came off the bench in Perth, Robbie, and made an instant impact there with a great left foot finish. That one was with his right foot, but it was his awareness. Once he got one-on-one with Bonnetig, he just knew he had the legs and he had the engines, he had the turbo. But then, that's one thing. Then the quality in front of goal once he got one-on-one with Lawrence Thomas. And there was no other outcome that I could see coming other than the ball in the back of the net. That's exactly what happened, so it's great confidence.
Well, the last time these two sides met, it was 3-1 to the Western Sydney Wanderers in Campbelltown. 4-3 before that to the Bulls. The last time they were here, it was a 3-1 win for the Wanderers as well. Antonsen was on the score sheet that day, so was Jake Holman. Brandon Borello's the all-time leading scorer in this fixture with 4. He starts on the bench. Nothing more than a precaution. I imagine they have a lot of competition for places up front.
Well, I'm no mathematician, but by my calculations, that's about a goal every 9 minutes so far, Robbie. What have we got in store this afternoon?
Well, if they can survive the heat and keep it going, we might yet have another goal fest on our hands. Mata. Kraev wrestling with Adamson. Pelekanos now with Brillante. Priestman. He straightens up. Space on the right-hand side for Jesse Cameron, but it's well watched by Walter Scott. Jakolic again. There was a great touch close to the sideline by Germain in the lead up to that goal as well, where he brought the ball down off the chest and flicked it forward. He had very little room to work with.
You know, sometimes those things just don't stand out from the quality players, do they? Because they make the difficult look so easy.
Pelekanos again with Mata for Antonsen. There's going to be another corner. And again, it's Mata coming into those central positions, getting on the ball and looking to show his quality.
Well, he starts in those wide areas and then drifts inside, playing outside to in. And that's where the communication between Walter Scott at left back for Macarthur and Jake Holman or Luke Bratton playing as one of the sixers has to be spot on. Otherwise he will pick the ball up in those pockets of space. We know what he's capable from there.
Brillante delivers. Good ball as well. Oh, it's there! And it was Pelekanos who couldn't steer it goalwards. A little let off there for Macarthur. Let's head down on the sideline where Daniel Garb is with us this afternoon. Garby, we've been trying to get to you, mate, but it's been rather busy.
It's a lovely atmosphere down here, as you can imagine. And to be honest, the conditions are fine for the players. I mean, the shade is extended over the field, so it's cool enough, and we've seen that in the opening half an hour. The RBB's in fine voice, and I dare say Jesse Cameron's really enjoying himself at right back. 18 years of age. He may be from Blacktown, but he's a massive Real Madrid fan, and he's linking up alongside Juan Mata, of course, who, when he was Jesse Cameron's age, was in the Real Madrid Academy.
Thank you, Garby. Yes, of course, Juan Mata, who started out at the Real Madrid Academy. Not a bad place to cut your teeth.
Real Madrid, never heard of them.
Now Germain with Piol. Look at Jed Drew flying up on the right-hand side. Yakulish and Germain joining the attack now. Jed Drew's ball to the back post. It's just too far. Yakulish losing his footing. Walter Scott keeps it alive, though, with Bratton. From Adamson. Pretty well defended by Jack Clisby as well.
Yeah, he did well. He got his body in the right position there to just check the run of Adamson. Trying to pick the pass from Luke Bratton, who we've seen play that pass to great effect for another club across town, even in grand finals, if memory serves me correctly. But that last attack from Macarthur just broke down with that pass from Piol to Jed Drew. It just took Jed Drew wider than what he would have liked, and Piol did apologise.
Intercepted by Bratton. Drew's off again. Plenty of space as well. Germain making the run near post. It was a great run. He just couldn't control the cross.
Yeah, and he went to control it with a volley. Would he have been better served with a diving header? You can see Jed Drew. He sees the run, spots it. It's at a difficult height. It is betwixt and between whether to pull out a diving header or try and cushion the volley. Good opening nonetheless from Macarthur again.
Macarthur are the side that get the most of their shots on target in the entire league. As Antonsen looks back post, Valère Germain is actually the #1 proponent of it as well. I think it's quite rare. We've seen him miss 2 already today. He'd only missed 2 all season off target for 14 shots on target, 2 off target the entire season without taking into account blocked shots. So precision is the name of the game.
And your statistics never cease to amaze me, Robbie Thompson. You've just scrambled my brain with numbers, which isn't hard.
The other player, just to give you an idea of the quality, that has comparable shots on target, off target statistics is Patrick Klimala of Sydney FC. It's about having the presence of mind to make sure you get it on target when you shoot. Mata again. Brillante just caught off balance as he tried to sweep the ball outside towards Cameron. Jed Drew gets going again, was determined to look for Ariad Piol.
Yeah, he was, and it was the wrong decision because he had options outside him and to switch of play.
That's well played. Kraev finding Sapsford. Antonsen in the middle. Sapsford still. A couple of the passes just going astray at the moment. As Walter Scott sends that into the stands. Throw taken quickly by Cameron. Priestman. Jesse Cameron again. Receives from Brillante. Clever. Brillante leaving it. They've earned another corner.
Been doing some very good work down this right-hand side. Josh Brillante, Mata, and Jesse Cameron all central to it.
And it will be the left boot of Juan Mata, who comes across to take it. The ball in is not a bad one. Excellent defensive header. Ollie Jones again, I think it was. Mata, second chance to deliver back post. Curto coming. He got a good hand on it in the end.
Yeah, it was smart goalkeeping from Curto. The flight of the ball was a tricky one off that left boot of Mata. He was under some pressure. Took the safety first option.
Given away again. Adamson this time. Brillante waiting for options. In the end, it was between his two strikers, and you have to be careful here. Jet Drew inviting Walter Scott forward. He's got Yarkalish ahead of him. Well, they've taken enough time to allow Western Sydney to get back and organise their defence. Good little football again. Holman trying to get in the clearance. Adamson. Germain back out. Keely Adamson, who's only got one A-League goal to his name. He came in the 4-4 draw with Brisbane earlier this season. Because they were trailing on the scoreboard, he didn't celebrate. And he's been working on his backflips by all accounts. Let's hope that second goal doesn't have to wait too long. It's a new year. Why not ring it in style? Walter Scott down to the byline. Cross blocked by Brillante. Cameron Long.
That was interesting from Philip Curto because there was a gaping hole right through the midfield. More grey shirts than there were red and black shirts. Just dropping it into midfield would have been a very effective option from Curto there.
Brillante with Clisby. Western Sydney dominating more and more of the possession. They've had more shots, more corners as well, but just the one shot on target at the moment from Juan Mata against 3 on target for Macarthur. Brillante with Bonatig. Clisby again. As they bring Kraev and Mata inside. Now Clisby driving it across. Aslanagic turns it behind. Corner number 5 for the home side. They want to take it quickly and do so. Mata's ball. Kraev is there. Just couldn't get over it enough to direct it goalwards.
Yeah, the flight of the cross from Mata always meant that Kraev was backing off, trying to get enough purchase on the header and direction. In the end, it was a bridge too far. Let's have a good feel about this first half, first 40 minutes. Robbie, both teams, I know you just reeled out some stats then, but both teams asking questions of each other. And hasn't been stuck in midfield.
We might have some more here. Piol with acres of space to run at the Western Sydney defence. Yarkalish, first time ball. Germain is there. The little flick, and it's a good save from Lawrence Thomas. Yarkalish wants the free kick and gets it. Wants a yellow card as well. He's got to be careful asking for that.
Well, what a great opportunity for Macarthur. It was Yarkalish. Look at that for a little clipped pass into the path of Germain. It was perfectly weighted. And Germain, that's a very difficult chance to get on target. As we see the foul from Jesse Cameron on Yarkalish. gets it right, Yarkle. She's got some real quality about what he does in that top third.
It's going to be the right boot. Marin Yarkolish was at Melbourne City last season, standing over this free kick. Ooh, he's headed, sent that almost into the opposite stand on the full.
Do I stand as guilty as charged for the commentator's curse? I'll just have to put my hand up for that one.
Well, when you do go for power, if you don't get it absolutely right, you can come away with egg on your face. But when that kind of power, was he shooting at goal then?
We'd have to get a microphone in front of him at full time to ask that, and I'm not sure we'd get an honest answer.
Piol again. Well, he's justified his selection as Kraev has come off second best, and Valère Germain probably happy for, as we see that again. Mossy, how do you explain that?
Maybe there's someone in the crowd on that far side that he knows well. Not sure. Not sure anything I can say can add value to what the footage has told us. Kraev shaking off that knock from Piol.
Scott, long. Pelekanos' head out. Germain wanted it a little bit more precise. Now Sapsford. He's given it away now. Walter Scott. And Yarkolish again. That chip is under hit. Can't find the Frenchman. Antonsen able to turn. He's got Sapsford. Mata can't get there. Yarkolish. Now Mata has it. Receives from Cameron. Looks up. Back post. Kraev. First time cross towards Antonsen. Well, it was improvised. It was clever and it nearly came off.
Yeah, really good awareness from Kraev and execution as well. He did well there, and Antonsen just couldn't get across the front of Philip Curto in the Macarthur goal. Had he done so, it was a pretty simple tapping for him.
Macarthur happy to slow the pace down a little bit in the shadows of half-time. We're in the 44th minute. They lead by 2-1. Piol with on Clisby, turning him inside and out. Drew's ball. Oh, what a goal! Jed Drew. Well, when you're hot, you're hot. That was outrageous. Lawrence Thomas beaten. All ends up by an acute angle. The ball just flew into the net, and Macarthur now lead by 2. It's 3-1 at Combank.
Jed Drew has just transitioned from hot to white hot. That is a quite brilliant finish from the Macarthur winger. I don't think anyone was expecting him to shoot there on the Harvey Norman replay. He gets at Jack Clisby. He squares him up not once but twice. And then from an angle that seemed impossible to score from, particularly against the goalkeeper of Lawrence Thomas's quality, he fairly knuckles one into the far side netting for a brilliant finish, a brilliant solo goal. We've seen 2 of the greatest solo goals of the season so far from first Piol and now that man there, Jed Drew.
What a season he's having. 5 goals and 5 assists now. Why pass when you can shoot? Just 7 passes in the game so far for Jed Drew, but 2 shots and 2 goals.
Absolutely outstanding. We spoke to him at full time of that win over in Perth about adding more goals to his game. He said it was definitely a focus of his. Well, that focus is now paying dividends.
Ball in behind for Clisby. Referee Casey Rybelt. Oh, she said goal kick at first, then changed her mind. Western Sydney. Mata brings Brillante in. Left foot towards Pelekanos. Cleared, now Bratton. It was Arslanagic leading the charge up forward.
They might have dodged one there, Western Sydney. It's not often you see a right footer and a left footer standing behind the ball at a corner. And in transition, Macarthur, I thought, had more of an opportunity to maybe go for the kill there.
Kraev. Well, they came from behind against Adelaide last time out. And they found themselves 2 goals down, only to score just before half-time, which laid the foundations for their comeback. Can they do it again here? Western Sydney, as Cameron just rather clumsily flattens Jake Holman. Philip Curto taking his time. The 2 minutes of stoppage time almost up. It's been a very, very entertaining first half of football here at CommBank. Oh, it's been allowed to bounce. A little misunderstanding there between Pelekanos and Cameron. Half-hearted appeals for a handball. Still, it's back again from Arslanagic all the way through to Lawrence Thomas. It hasn't been a 50th match in red and black to remember for him so far. It most certainly has been the first 45 minutes that will live long in the memory, though. A couple of superb goals from Macarthur and plenty of spirit and fight shown by both sides, who want to start the new year in winning form. Jed Drew has 2 in the 13th and 44th minute, either side of Ariath Piol, and Juan Mata's first goal in Australia kept Western Sydney in the contest. Half-time at CommBank Stadium. It's the Wanderers 1, the Bulls 3. But we'll head off to a quick break and be back with the half-time show. Stay with us at CommBank.
So we're just doing goals, I take it, for the highlights? Beautiful. Love. Yep. Sure. Goals, and then straight into Dylan. Great. And then off the back of Dylan, do we go P+ index? Or straight to Auckland victory highlights? Okay.
You just wire me up.
Yep.
I was going to say, is that Macca's?
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yep. And then we'll do Auckland victory. Okay. And then football tonight, teaser. And
Gotcha. You got me okay?
Yep.
I have, Robbie. Yep. What was the game Dylan scored in just the other week? I was here doing it. No, it was here.
Well, the first half hasn't gone the way that Western Sydney would like, but that is a moment for Wanderers fans to savour. Juan Mata, the massive recruit, with his first goal in red and black, and what a super strike it was. One that sums up his illustrious career. They've got a lot of work to do, though, Juan Mata and Western Sydney, to get back into this game as we begin the Hungry Jacks halftime show. It is 3-1, Macarthur's lead. Daniel Garvey with you alongside Phil Moss. And Mossy, this derby in the west of Sydney living up to the billing.
Absolutely, goals galore. And when Juan Mata scored, you thought the stars were aligning here. He's in the starting lineup. He finished his goal brilliantly, but we come to expect that from him. But then all of a sudden, Jed Drew and Arieth Piol had something else to say about it.
Let's take a look at the Harvey Norman highlights then. Jed Drew's been just a wonderful player for Macarthur all season long. There's the likes of Yakulis and Jaman who might have bigger reputations, but this youngster is the one that is leading the way for Macarthur up forward.
That's right. He's transitioning from hot to white hot at the moment. I spoke to him after the Perth game and said, was it goals that you really wanted to add to your game? And he said, absolutely. It's a sharp focus, and my goodness, is he paying off now.
So this is the Mata goal again. Just before this, he started to get into the game, didn't he, with a couple of beautiful diagonal balls?
He did. He was picking up the ball in really good pockets, and we know the quality he's got, and he was causing problems for Macarthur's defensive structure, and the finish was just so cool, calm and collected and precise as well. But it was Macarthur who just, you see this here, Piol knew exactly where the space was. He knew he had the speed and the energy, but it's the execution when he gets one-on-one with Lawrence Thomas that was really outstanding, really confident.
That goal was something else. Jed Drew might have bettered it not long after for his 6th of the season. Confidence oozing through him. Just a sensational strike.
Yeah, well, I have to say, I think this was a better solo goal than Piol, and there's a split hair between them, but it's the angle here. I didn't think for any money that Jed Drew was going to shoot from there, and I think it caught Lawrence Thomas out as well, but the power behind that and the precision, of course, was just absolutely outstanding. But he squared Jack Clisby up twice to get the shot away, and then the shot was full of venom.
Some awesome Harvey Norman highlights. It's been a wonderful first half. Macarthur lead Western Sydney 3-1. Of course, Alan Stajic watching on from the stands. He is suspended. He'd love to be able to call on Dylan Chiklunya, of course, to try and get Western Sydney back into this game. Dylan, thanks so much for joining us. It's a shame to see you in these circumstances, of course, because you were having such a wonderful season. But last week, unfortunately, you did your ACL, so your season's over. Just talk us through how you are processing that devastating news at the moment.
Look, to start off with, it's not what any footballer wants to hear, that your season's done with your ACL. I kind of knew at the time, I knew I did something, but I thought I'm probably going to be out for a while, so help the boys to get the 3 points, and now it's just still processing a little bit, but I'm just going to focus on the recovery now, be there for the boys, and yeah, to see hopefully the boys carry on the momentum we've had so far for the rest of the season, and we can have a successful year.
I'm devastated for you, Dylan, because I've loved watching you play this season, and I called the game the other week where you scored a worldie towards the end of the game to cap off a man-of-the-match performance. The following week, you go down with a knee injury. Talk us through the mental side of the last couple of weeks. A real high and then a massive low.
Look, that's football. I was finding my feet this season. It was almost like my breakout season. I was playing every week. Confidence was getting better by the week. I was getting fitter, stronger. And then you score, you get man of the match, and 5 days later you do your ACL. That's football. It's ups and downs. You've just got to be strong mentally throughout the highs and the lows and just come back stronger.
I guess the benefit is you're still so young, only 20 years of age. So have you mapped out that plan to try and get back to the levels that you're at prior to the injury? Has that all been done for you with the club as well?
Yeah, we've been working on a rehab plan going forward. And yeah, I'm just going to focus on recovery day by day now and come back a lot stronger than I was before. And yeah, get back into it as soon as I can.
And quick thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, I think it's been a bit up and down for us. We've had a lot of the ball, especially in their box. Just need to keep combining, and with the players we've got up front and the players on the bench of Milanovic and Brello, I'm sure we'll find goals.
Got to ask you one more before you go, because you're in such good form before the injury. People were saying perhaps national team honours for Australia awaits. You have played youth international football for Malta. If a call did come for Australia, where would your heart lie in terms of an international football preference?
Look, I just focus on my club football for now, and when the time comes, then it's the decision I have to make. But for now, it's just club football and work on my recovery.
Well answered, Dylan. Well answered.
He might be young, but he already knows how to answer the tricky questions. We'd love to see you in green and gold if it's any consolation. Unfortunately, you won't be on the field for a little while, but we can't wait to see you back in Wanderers colours. All the best with your recovery, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well done.
Dylan Ciclunia from Western City. Let's take a look at the Paramount Plus player index from the first half, and Jed Drew leading the way, unsurprisingly. 6 goals for the season. Juan Mata right there with him. I mean, it wasn't just his goal, was it, Mossy? He started to influence play more than we've seen, obviously, this season from the big-name recruit.
Yeah, that's right. He was causing problems for Walter Scott when he was drifting inside. The communication between Walter Scott and the midfielders, Luke Bratton in particular, had to be on point. But Juan Mata was growing into that game. The key question now is, with the lack of game time he's had, how long will his legs survive? Because if there is one person who can really get Western Sydney back in this game, if he's got the legs, is Juan Mata.
We'll watch that with interest in the second half. There was a game earlier today, Auckland up against the Melbourne Victory. If Macarthur can hang on for the 3 points here, they'll move into second, and 5 points off Auckland because they drew at home to the Victory this afternoon. This was an unlucky moment for them. De Vries' header that Jack Duncan didn't know too much about, smacked him in the noggin, and it was deflected wide. They did find the back of the net, Auckland. Unfortunately for them, this was flagged offside, Guillermo May, so didn't quite go the way that they would have liked at home. Another massive crowd. They've passed the 100,000 mark this season, which is an incredible attendance feat for Auckland at the moment, and they maintain top position on the ladder. Football tonight is coming on Saturday evening. Emily Gelnick, the Melbourne Victory superstar and long-time Matilda, is the special guest, so we can't wait for another big weekend of football, but we have another big half coming your way from the west of Sydney. It is Macarthur leading Western Sydney 3-1 at the break. Superb goals in the first half. This has been the Hungry Jacks halftime show. Second half action isn't too far away. Robbie Thompson and Phil Moss with you for the call.
Welcome back to Combank Stadium. 3-1, the Macarthur Bulls are leading the Western Sydney Wanderers at the break. There you can see Juan Mata, who got his first goal in A-Leagues football with a crisp, precise finish from the edge of the area in the 23rd minute. That equalised the game at 1-1. Mata, who has seen an awful lot of the ball, 55 touches in the first half. That's only 2 less than Brillante and Pelekanos, the leaders for Western Sydney, and a pass completion rate of over 90%. So he has certainly made an impact in his first start since round 3 of the season. You can see the respect the opposition players have for him as well. One change at half-time for the home side. Anthony Pantasopoulos comes on for the debutant Jesse Cameron at right back. Otherwise, we are as we were on New Year's Day 2025. Macarthur looking to build on a fantastic finish to 2024. At the moment, they are moving to second place provisionally on the table, Phil Moss, but we've seen in recent weeks that this Wanderers side has plenty of character as well.
Yeah, they certainly do. Would be interesting to have been a fly on the wall in the Western Sydney Wanderers dressing room. Obviously, Alan Stajic not allowed in the dressing room today. So how Noel Arate, Milos Ninkovic, Andrew Christensen, the coaching staff, the support staff for Stadge handled half-time will be key in the second half.
Long ball forward from Pelekanos, looking for Antonsen. Kraev taking over with Mata. Now Brillante. First touch of this second half for Pantasopoulos. Mata again, that left boot, finding Antonsen. Was looking for the first time flick, probably the hardest option he could come up with. It didn't come off, but already promising signs at the start of this second half.
Yeah, they had to start on the front foot, didn't they, Western Sydney, just to make a mini statement. And they're not going away, even though they are 2 goals in arrears of their visitors in this Western Sydney derby. Fantastic first half of football, 4 goals. Some good enterprising play from both teams.
Well, Jet Drew has been the star of the show. There have been plenty of star performers for Macarthur. Marin Jakalic has taken his assists tally to 6 this season as well, with his assist for Ariad Piol. There's Piol wrestling with Pelekanos. Nicely done, Brillante.
Does he get an assist for that?
For Piol's goal, yeah. It was a good 40-metre run by Ariad Piol. Oh, with Sapsford, is he caught? He is, by Arslanagic. The referee, Casey Rybelt, who makes history today, an all-female refereeing sextet, taking charge of this one. Emma Kotzbeck and Maddie Ollum, as that free kick is taken quickly. They're running the lines. Rebecca Durkow is the 4th official, and Kate Jakovets and Joanna Charaktis are in the VAR room as well. And apart from that first minute, probably, Mossy, and that lunge from Božidar Kraev on Valère Germain, who didn't make much of it and got up quickly, they've kept a pretty tight rein on this one.
Yeah, I think it's been a game played in good spirits. And Casey Rybelt has done a really good job, along with the other officials, for the first half. The interesting question for me now is how many minutes has Juan Mata got in his legs? Because he is one player, as we well know, that can open this game up for Western Sydney to get them back into the contest on the scoreboard. But how long he's got, given the lack of game time he's had to this point in the season.
Casey Rybelt very quickly perceiving that perhaps Philip Curto was taking a bit too much time. She was just given a little helping hand by Juan Mata, who pointed it out to her, and she was quick to stamp it out. Adamson, Priestman and Kraev. Cryer spins away from a couple of challenges. Priestman now receiving from Sapsford. Sapsford gets it back again. Looks to accelerate. Zach Sapsford. Lunge in there from Arslanagic. They managed to bring the ball away. Look, Arslanagic charging forward. Oh, it's a good ball in behind. Pelekanos could find himself in trouble here. Referee goes into the pocket. Well, the Macarthur players think that should be red. Ariad Piol, it was the last defender. The Macarthur bench can't believe it.
Well, at first glance, I must say, I was thinking it may well have been red. Maybe the distance from goal has saved him. He's saying that Piol had a handful of his shirt first of all. Gee, I think he's lucky to get away with that, Pelekanos. It is still a fair way from goal, of that there's no doubt. I'm not sure Jack Clisby or Alex Bonatig would have got back in time.
Mile Sturjovski chatting to Rebecca Durkau, the fourth official. Valère Germain still trying to plead his case.
And here it is here. You can see Piol.
Well, he's heading for goal.
He's heading for goal. That's going to be one-on-one. Does this get looked at VAR, Robbie?
Well, VAR will certainly be having a look at everything. I guess the question is, well, we're going to go and have a look at it.
I think this will be overturned.
He's been called over, Casey Rybelt, to have a look and to have the benefit of a second look at this action. The question is, was Piol doing any fouling himself, I guess?
Well, he's onside. There's no doubt there. You can't really tell from that camera angle whether Piol's got a fistful of Pelekanos' shirt, but the defender certainly brings Piol to ground. Of that there's no doubt. I don't think Jack Clisby's catching Piol, not based on the evidence of the first half and his solo goal that we saw.
It's a great ball from Jed Drew again, involved in all the key moments. Now Casey Rybelt's continuing to look there.
Oh, I think it'll be overruled. I think on second glance Casey will see that this was going to be a one-on-one with Lawrence Thomas, which puts Pelekanos as the last defender.
Well, let's have a listen. Casey Rybelt is coming across.
After on-field review, number 13 denied a goal-scoring opportunity. My final decision is red card.
So Casey Rybelt has a yellow card for Dean Pelekanos and changed it to red. He gets a tap on his way past from Valère Germain. He can't have too many complaints. But it does certainly make the job all that harder for the Western Sydney Wanderers, who are 2 goals down and now a player down.
And I think that will expedite Noel Arate going to his bench, as we can see on screen. They've got some firepower on this bench. We're about to see them.
Yeah. Their 2 top scorers, Nick Milanovic and Brandon Borello, getting ready immediately to come into the contest. Free kick though, Macarthur then got some defending to do at the other end. And it was Ollie Jones arriving at the back post. You can see the funny side of it. It was certainly a central defender's finish at the back post. Now Mossy, when you're 2 goals down, and you can see Noel Arate is having a word to Borello and Milanovic on the sideline at the moment before they come on. But you've lost a central defender. You've got nearly a full half of football to go. Do you bring on 2 attackers? Do you go for broke?
Look, I think you have to. Whether you lose by 2, 3 or 4 in this situation, certainly they'll not want the score to blow out too much. But I think you've got to find a way back into the game, and it's not going to be through putting another defender on, particularly when you've got your two leading goal scorers sitting on the bench fresh to come on against tiring legs.
Well, it looks as though Juan Mata has moved into a central midfield position alongside Oscar Priestman now, as Brillante has headed back into the centre of defence alongside Bonatig. Here is Bonatig, finds Kraev. It was well played, Bonatig. Kraev now taking on Scott, managing to go around him. Now Priestman, that's a nice little touch. Panasopoulos deflected, and they are back into the contest. The substitute, Anthony Panasopoulos. It took a big deflection on the way through, but it's a first ever A-League goal for the former Oakley Cannon.
Well, what a fantastic reaction to losing a player to that red card. Panasopoulos on a Harvey Norman replay really injects himself into this situation, and it's his belief and his intent to get a shot on target that pays dividends with the deflection, that lifts the ball over the helpless Philip Curto, just to give Western Sydney Wanderers a lifeline.
The substitutions coming now, and it's the end of the night for Juan Mata. So he is one of the two that makes way. The other is Zach Sapsford. Mata gets the high five from Newell Arate, the assistant coach to Alan Stajic, who's directing traffic down on the sidelines, calling the shots in this one. He also did it one time at Perth Glory as well, a 1-0 defeat against Melbourne City, I think it was, about a year ago. As here, Macarthur, back onto the front foot. Pure. Antonsen. Now that's hit Rybelt, so it will be a drop ball in Western Sydney's favour. We might go down quickly to Daniel Garb, who's on the sidelines for us. Garby, what did you make of that overruled VAR intervention?
Well, I'm lucky enough to the VAR screen, so I could hear Casey Rybelt's conversation with the VAR, and she said that she thought initially the ball was far away from Pio and Plakanos as they were duelling, and upon reflection, when she had a look at the replay, she could see that it was much closer and therefore denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity, hence the red card.
Thank you, Daniel Garber. Perhaps you have just found the way around IFAB's reticence to have live conversations between the VAR and the referee, because you can just tell us what they said. Well, that's good to hear the reasoning going on as well behind the decision.
We've had a fair bit going on since that red card to Plekanos, but Western Sydney going to a 3-4-2. Those front two of Borrello and Antonsen. Back three of Clisby on the left-hand side, Bonatig and Pantasopoulos.
Mile Sturjovski with some thinking to do as well. Does he react now? Does he show faith in the team that he has out there at the moment? The one that has built up the lead so far. You don't want to hit panic stations.
And really, against 10 men, if you start to go into protection mode, you invite the pressure.
Milanovic with Antonsen. The Swede holding onto the ball, strong into that challenge, too strong, according to the referee, but the crowd are getting involved now as well. They don't like it. You can just feel, not necessarily the tide turning, but you can feel that there is some resistance here from the Wanderers.
I think Antonsen's got a decent case there. The foul is for using his body against Luke Bratton. I thought that was fair enough.
Clisby, as Lawrence Thomas sees it all the way out of play. Now here's Bonatic. Ball into the feet of Kraev. He's surrounded though. Bratton's done well with Germain. Now Drew. Piol and Jakulic in the middle. The cutback. Piol leaves it cleverly. And Marin Jakulic should have scored.
Well, that could go down as one of the costliest misses of the season if Macarthur don't get full points this afternoon. Brilliant by Jed Drew, brilliant by Piol. The awareness to know that Jakulic is free as a bird behind him. Lets it run through his legs, and Jakulic quite simply has to score.
Borrello gets the free kick. Oh, you've got to be careful. He's pushed that man over. Now he's running away from the referee. Well, he's been involved in recent weeks in a few scuffles. Borrello, there wasn't much in the foul. There's no need for that either. Mind you, there's no need for Germain to go down.
Absolutely. You just stole the words right from my lips, Robbie. This play acting that we've seen creeping into some of the games this season. The game in Australia can't afford to have it in it.
Drew. He is a real poison every time he gets on the ball at the moment. Now Germain directing traffic. Walter Scott. He looks up, crosses. Piol at the back post. It's claimed by Lawrence Thomas. And his teammates are just saying, hold on a second, let us catch our breath.
It's not bad delivery from Walter Scott. Obviously, too much air under it. Gave Lawrence Thomas a chance to come out and take it. But you're right, Robbie, match management will be crucial for both sides, really. How Western Sydney, and when they take their breather, when they go full throttle to try and get themselves another goal, and Macarthur, how they use the ball, how they manage the game.
Well, they have plenty of attacking players out there. It's given away by Bonatic, but it falls to Borrello. He gives it away. Germain for Jakulic. And again, that front three come charging forward. Jakulic with Holman. Holman again, who's playing that Liam Rose role, if you like. He's missing today. Tommy Uscock also missing from the team sheet. No word of injury out of the Bulls camp. Holman back for Drew. Piol can't reach it. Oh, and Brelante's clearance, if that had found a friendly shirt, there might have been something on there. That's a great ball in. Brilliant ball from Keely Adamson. And Germain just couldn't steer it into the back of the net.
Just got his footing wrong on that occasion, didn't he, Germain? Really good delivery from Keely Adamson. Germain got the right side of his defender as well.
Antonsen takes the throw quickly with Milanovic. We know how good his left foot is. It's a great ball. Antonsen could have equalised. Brilliant football from the Wanderers. And this match has plenty left in store from one end to the other.
Huge, huge save, Philip Curto. Made himself big, stayed up as long as he could.
Now Drew's ball. He was looking for Jakulic at the back post. Intercepted by Brillante, and the ball is still in play. Brilliant work
From Milanovic. And Antonsen did just about everything right, apart from maybe lift the ball. Philip Curto, that's a huge save.
Well, he's one of the league's great keepers, Philip Curto, but it hasn't been the best of seasons, to be fair, for him so far. Just the 2 clean sheets in 10 matches. Defensively, there's been plenty of chopping and changing as well in front of him. Vujic is on the bench this evening. No Tommy Uscock. Aslanigic returns. That's nice play from Bonatic again. Clisby, first time ball. Borrello looking for the little flick. He just got too much on it.
Yeah, he just found himself too far past the near post then. Borrello. So he had to resort to some creativity. It didn't come off on that occasion. Now he's capable of it. But some really good work from Bonatic too, driving in to the Macarthur midfield, I should say, and releasing Jack Clisby down the left-hand side.
First time ball, Borrello again, looking to muscle his way through. We've got 3 substitutes waiting to enter the fray. As Macarthur come forward, Danny De Silva and Dean Bosniak are ready to come on for Macarthur. Aidan Hammond, another attacking move about to be made by the Wanderers. Pjol gets it wide. Adamson strikes. Not with the same accuracy that his teammates have been showing so far.
Here comes a save. Milanovic just playing in. Antonsen, really clever reverse pass. Look at that. I think Antonsen would have been better suited lifting the ball. Big save, Curto, and here's that chance to Keely Adamson. They're not easy when it's coming across your body like that. But he'll know he should have done better.
Bosniak replaces Jed Drew. And Arath Pjol, in fact, it's Danny De Silva for Jed Drew on the right-hand side, and Bosniak will go through the middle to replace Pjol. Scorer of all 3 goals for Macarthur have just made way, Pjol and Drew. And coming on, well, Danny De Silva has a couple of goals to his name. One superb against Brisbane, one a little more fortunate more recently in the 1-1 draw with the Mariners, where it was a Jed Drew shot that actually bounced off him and in. They all count, as famous strikers will often tell you. Doesn't matter how they go in. So De Silva has moved into that number 10 role, or a false 9, because Germain is still playing that 10-ish role. Here is De Silva. It's got Bosniak outside him on the right-hand side. They keep it alive. Adamson, his pass is a little bit loose. Borrello, just so much determination. Well, that's very casual from Lawrence Thomas. They're getting themselves in a little bit more trouble here. Now Antonsen looking to release Milanovic. Well played, Jones.
It's been good again, Jones. Reads the play very well. Got himself into a couple of really good positions in that first half to block shots. It's just a safe pair of hands at the back, isn't he? And a really good presence for a central defender.
Here's Priestman with Bonatic. Clisby for Milanovic, the left footer who switched flanks now. Milanovic taking on Adamson. De Silva. Nice feat, but well defended in the end by Bonatic. Hammond into the contest. He's a tricky customer as well. Plenty of pace and skill as Priestman looks long for Antonsen. Nice control. Panazopoulos drives it in hard. Cleared by Jones, only as far as Hammond, whose shot's behind corner.
He didn't quite get hold of that, Hammond, did he? He found himself in good space on the edge of the Macarthur box. So we see a really nice touch there from Antonsen over the right shoulder. That's not easy to do. When the clearance comes out to Hammond on the edge of the box. Corner it is.
Jack Clisby taking over the set-piece delivery to the back post. Oh, and Borrello, he'd done ever so well to peel off the back, and in the end he probably should have done better.
Certainly should have, particularly the form he's in, but he uses his body really well. Maybe there's an illegal push there in his 2 hands, but then he tries for too much power.
Let's head straight down to Daniel Garb on the sidelines. Garby, what have you got for us?
Well, I can tell you, Jed Drew wasn't too happy when he was taken off. He was shaking his head a fair bit as he passed Milos Stojovski, and he kicked a water bottle as he sat down. Just wondering what Mossy thinks of that substitution. 2 goals to his name today, so much confidence. He was starting to exploit Wanderers with a man down on the counter-attack. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah, it certainly was, Garvey. Of that, there's no doubt, particularly in the form that he's in at the moment. You can see he's maybe just spotted himself on camera, so he's reeled in his emotions. But I'm sure Milos Stojovski, Matt Smith will have their reasons.
Now the corner for Macarthur. Milos Stojovski, there he is, the former Socceroo A-League champion with the Central Coast Mariners 11 years ago. Mariniakalic to take the corner, near post. Excellent defensive header from Bonatig. Bratton first to the loose ball. Bratton has it again. Adamson. They will be able to find space. Looks up and crosses early. Relante's done well there to control the clearance. Priestman with Milanovic. Inviting Clisby forward again. Hammond doing plenty of little runs in and out, trying to give himself as an option. They've managed to force Macarthur back towards the halfway line. Antonsen with Panazopoulos just trying to rush things. That's where you have to keep being patient. Brillante, Priestman. Bonatig, he looks up for Antonsen. The nod down, but there's no one in support. Antonsen applauding the delivery from Bonatig. Well, the XG is 2.9 in favour of Macarthur to just 0.84 for their 2 goals for the Western Sydney Wanderers. They have vastly outscored it. Macarthur about on, as here's Bosniak against Clisby and Hammond. Adamson now, and without Pjol and Drew, as Holman tries a fairly lazy shot on the left boot.
Yeah, he was never set for that shot, was he? And he's disappointed in himself. His teammates around him were disappointed because they were just building something around the Western Sydney box then. They just had a little bit more patience.
The crowd haven't given up on the Wanderers yet. You can hear the clapping as De Silva looking for Bosniak. No way through. Hammond with Priestman. There's still plenty of time for Western Sydney.
And there's still plenty of space for both teams to exploit each other, particularly in the middle of the park.
Borello fouled again by Oliver Jones. Free kick taken quickly towards Antonsen. He's got there ahead of Arslanagic. Now Milanovic has a fine left foot on him. It's been a little while between drinks for Nick Milanovic now, after a very rich vein of scoring form. Just 1 penalty in his last 5 matches. No goals in his last 3. Bosniak going all the way and then shooting, and again he had other options, and Bratton's not too pleased with that one.
No, and rightly so. This was the wrong option from Bosniak. He was never going to find the far bottom corner with that approach technically. Bratton was freeing in some really good space on the edge of the box. This is where Macarthur have to be careful, not trying too hard to find that second cushion.
Little ball over the top from Germain. He was looking for De Silva. Now long. One for Antonsen to chase. Jones recovers well. After initially finding himself perhaps a little out of position, he's done that very well. Curto with Adamson. Hammond trying to close down. Plenty of space here. Bratton. Now Germain has a look around. Numbers forward for Macarthur here. Yakulish's cross is blocked. Now the key for Western Sydney, because Marcus Antonsen has run himself into the ground and will keep running, as Milanovic got past Yakulish only just. Hammond again. Western Sydney came into this looking for 3 consecutive wins for the first time in nearly 4 years. It's amazing to think, as Clisby's cross, Curto comes and claims. They'd settle for a point now, though.
Yeah, they probably would, but with 15 plus injuries to go, I would say the message from the bench will be, we're still going for the win here. Of course, they've got to get the equaliser to even have a slight chance of that.
De Silva all the way across with Yakulish. Back for De Silva. Oh, and Germain wants to go on with it now with Clisby in the penalty box. Oh, he's got a little bit of a short fuse, Valère Germain. Clisby's managed to get under his skin there. He did go down in the back play.
I think Germain was saying that Clisby had a fistful of his shirt inside the penalty box. We'll see it here. Oh no, just body checks him. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if that'll get a secondary look.
Well, Marin Yakulish is making way for Bernardo to come in. Bernardo's 3rd appearance of the season after recovering from that ruptured Achilles. Yakulish with a little word for the 4th official as he heads to the bench as well.
The word is that VAR did check that body check, if you like, from Jack Clisby. Just instructed Casey Rybelt to have a chat to him.
Bonatic now down the left with Clisby. He's got a good left foot on him, Clisby. That's not a bad delivery either. Borello, Milanovic won't get there. Cleared by Jones. Well, Macarthur are feeling a little hard done by. Referee's assistant on that far side saying it didn't get a touch. Milanovic drives it in. Borello. I think he was looking for a little flick to cause a little bit of chaos there. In the end, he almost controlled it. Now, Germain, overlapping run from Bosniak. Needs to find the option, the cutback. Bernardo was arriving, but not quickly enough.
And they're the moments where Macarthur, if they're going to go on and win this game, really need to make Western Sydney Wanderers pay. They catch them in transition like that. They've got numbers, good numbers going forward. Western Sydney doing everything they can to get behind the ball, but Macarthur just letting them off the hook at the moment.
Well, these two sides now, the top 2 attacks in the league. They've put on another 5 goal showing. And of course, plenty of time for more to come. Western Sydney have 24 goals. Macarthur 23 now. Adelaide 22. Germain looking to put it back in between. Goes again. Bonatic clears. Maslanagic He and Jones have been solid at the back. Bratton with Holman. De Silva able to turn. Germain, little dink over the top for Keely Adamson. Drives it across. Oh, and somehow it's cleared up under the crossbar. Flag was up for offside anyway.
Well, again, a nearly chance for Macarthur, goes begging this time for offside. So it must have been from the first pass, I think, from Germain.
Antonsen comes off, and it's James Temelkovski who comes into the action. He brings with him a little note for Oscar Priestman. Temelkovski, who was amongst the goals for Marconi in the New South Wales Premier League last season. He's only had a couple of appearances off the bench in recent weeks, though, for Western Sydney. Now he'll get another chance to make a hero of himself.
Yeah, he will. And that's the final throw of the dice from a Western Sydney perspective from their bench. Gee whiz, Robbie, 10 minutes to go plus injury time. You sense this game isn't over. One way or another, will it be Macarthur to get a little bit of a cushion with a 2-goal lead? Or will it be Western Sydney with a dramatic equaliser and potentially even a late winner? Who knows? Is that wishful thinking?
Both of those things wouldn't be bad. A 2-goal cushion, then an equaliser, and then perhaps one or a winner.
Bring it on. It's New Year's Day. Anything's possible.
The crowd still making plenty of noise. They've seen their side fight a player down following the red card to Dean Pelekanos 5 minutes into the second half. They pulled the goal back almost immediately. Macarthur, who have been known to throw results away in the last couple of years, much to the frustration of their coach, Mile Sturjovski. He'll be hoping they can show some game management here and close this one out. Here's Germain. Clever little ball again, and the cross wasn't too bad either from Walter Scott. There is Alan Stajic, just the 6th manager in A-League history to be sent off. That didn't strike me as very many, Mossy. I had a look at all the stats. He's had 12 yellow cards. There's only one man who's had more, Ufuk Talay, with 14. And you, I'm very pleased to say, Phil Moss, have a clean record.
Maybe that's why the referees are still talking to me. Either that or the threshold used to be a lot higher.
Well, Stadge is what you call a repeat offender. Now, nice little touch for Holman. Goes again. Crosses from Scott towards Bosniak. He scored a fantastic winner in Wellington. Here he is again. The little layback. Oh, from Bernardo. He almost marked this match with a first goal since his return from that Achilles injury.
Well, wouldn't that have been a fantastic introduction to the game for Bernardo? Great to see him back on the pitch. But under extreme pressure, he just showed the calmness to try and side foot it into that near post area of Lawrence Thomas's goal.
Bratton with De Silva. Here's Bernardo. De Silva again skips away from Hammond. Germain gets there. Well, this is where they're able to use their technique and make it count. Macarthur try and just tease the game out. They don't need to rush anything, not like that. Well,
it's the second time I could be accused of commentator's curse this afternoon, Robbie. No sooner had I said he showed such calmness in front of goal, he unleashes the one that put no pressure on the Western Sydney goalkeeper or defence.
Free kick. Arslanigic through the back of Temelkovski. It's a big, strong central defender, old school Arslanigic.
Yeah, and he loves tracking into midfield, as he did on that occasion.
Hammond gets away from Bratton. Priestman. Well, that's going to be a yellow card for Luke Bratton. First foul, but
it might well
5
be
minutes,
first down.
5 minutes from time, dragging a player back heading towards goal. Yeah.
Come on, Brats. Tell you what, though, the longer the scoreline stays like this, as we see the reason Luke Bratton finds himself in Casey Rybelt's book, the longer it stays like this, the more belief Western Sydney will get.
Especially when you have a free kick taker like this man. Brandon Borello scored an absolute stunner from this kind of range against Brisbane just a couple of weeks ago. I think Milanovic has also scored, albeit deflected from a direct free kick as well. Borello hits it. Borello heading towards that top corner. Tatted away by Curto. Cross back in. Clisby's teasing ball, just inviting someone to attack it.
What about Curto there? He was taking no chances trying to hold on to that from Borello. He really has got the art of the knuckleball down pat, hasn't he?
Just maybe didn't have enough pace, that one, to test a keeper of Curto's caliber. That ball in. Kept its line. Temelkovski was sent rolling again in the box. There's the Paramount Plus player index. Jed Drew with an outstanding performance and a couple of goals ahead of Juan Mata. Great to see the Spanish World Cup winner shining. He got his name on the score sheet. He had plenty of touches of the football as well. He was omnipresent in the midfield. Best performance of the season so far from him.
Yeah, it was great to see him get some extended minutes. And he certainly, as you would expect, brought a lot of quality to everything that he did. But I think Ollie Jones as another one at the heart of the Macarthur defence. I think he's been an unsung hero today. He's had a really good game. Should it stay this way and Macarthur go home with the 3 points, he'll be getting a few pats on the back in the dressing room, no doubt.
Just his 18th A-League match. He's never been first choice until now. That's 5 starts in a row for him in the heart of this Macarthur defence. The Macarthur defence that early in the season as well was looking for stability. I'm not sure they thought they'd find it in Ollie Jones, but they have done. Here he is again with the defensive header. Hammond takes over though. Little 1-2 with Borello. Aidan Hammond. Shot blocked by Arslanigic this time.
And he celebrates at Arslanigic like it was a goal. Down the other end of the pitch. Brilliant. Love seeing defenders celebrate big tackles. As Hammond bears down, he gets his defensive positioning just right, Arslanigic. And then gives it the old fist pump.
Look at that, 8 blocked shots from Western Sydney. That tells you how good a defensive job desperately Macarthur have done. Clisby forces Adamson to stretch. He does so, but it's a corner, and the roar comes from the red and black block.
Strap yourselves in. Have we got a grandstand finish coming?
Clisby to deliver. In it comes. Ball back post. Milanovic and Priestman got in each other's way. Brillante sweeps the ball back out to the left-hand side. Clisby delivers again. It's a good ball. Borello's there. Pandazopoulos at the back post. Milanovic has gone sliding in a little bit recklessly. He's caught Luke Bratton.
Oh, it looked like something was really building there. Good delivery from Jack Clisby. He just hangs it up into an area. Milanovic, as you can see, It's just second to that contest. Brings Bratton down to relieve the pressure on Macarthur.
There's the ladder as it stands. Look how tight it is as well. 5 points clear at the moment. Macarthur have played an extra game as well. Macarthur yet to have a bye. But they move ahead of Melbourne Victory, who drew scoreless earlier today against Auckland. And Adelaide United as well. Hammond, he's done nicely. He's been fouled off the play. There's no advantage, and the referee, Casey Rybelt, let it go as long as she could, and then brings it back for the free kick. And Brandon Borello must be wanting to have a look at this one as well. He thinks it's about 5 metres more central than it actually is.
That's a game of bluff if ever I've seen one. But Casey Rybelt does really well here to play the advantage and just hold that whistle for as long as she could. And then it was the right decision and perfectly timed by the match official.
Well, we've got a couple of substitutions coming from Macarthur just to wind down the clock a little bit more. But before then, in the first minute of 5 stoppage time minutes added on, Western Sydney chasing the game. Milanovic, ball back post, headed back in. Not enough bodies in the middle for Western Sydney. It's cleared. Brillante straight back in. The header away from Holman. Pandazopoulos goes after it. Showed too much of it to Bernardo. Oh, but he just gives it straight back to Jack Clisby. Well played, Jones again, shadowing Brandon Borello.
That was excellent defending, tracking him into midfield to make sure he didn't get the time and space to turn and face.
And now Bernardo going on the run. He was looking for Bosniak. Scott will allow it out of play, and we'll have the substitution now. So Franz Deli will come into the contest, but before then, Ivan Vujica replacing Walter Scott at left back. He's already left the far side of play, so Vujica comes straight on, and Jake Holman is the other player making way for the youngster Franz Deli in his first season with the seniors. He comes on for his 4th appearance. He came off the bench in Perth as well.
The key part about that defending from Ollie Jones there on Borello is central defenders can fall into that trap of backing off to defend when you're protecting a lead. He defended on the front foot and tracked Borello all the way into midfield. Absolutely key moment.
Oh, but he's been caught there. His clearance blocked by Milanovic. Borello charging away. Brandon Borello. And it's Valère Germain back doing the defending. I thought he might have won a goal kick, but it's going to be a corner all the same.
Say that name again, Robbie. Valère Germain back in cover defence in his own penalty box. That's how much this result means to Macarthur. The captain leading by example.
2 minutes left. It's been spirited from Western Sydney. Lawrence Thomas was up there and he got his head on it. Well, he can't believe it. He almost added his name to a very select group of goal-scoring keepers.
Well, that would have put an exclamation mark on this game had Lawrence Thomas scored. As Casey Rybelt runs out of patience with Philip Curto. Yellow card for time wasting.
There's the yellow card. Curto again. He's a pass master at that as well, coming out a long way. Got to talk very urgently with my central defenders before I can take the goal kick. As he looks long. Clisby's header. Hammond Does well to keep it in play, but he could only cough it up to Keely Adamson. On the charge, Adamson holds off Priestman. Bernardo back for Adamson. Nice football this. Bernardo still. And now Priestman looks long, intercepted by Jones. That would have been some pass if that had made it all the way through.
Wouldn't it? What? The awareness, the vision. And it was just a little bit of execution that let him down. But again, Ollie Jones, he read the danger, positioned himself perfectly. You see Keely Adamson just overplaying a pass for De Silva.
Brillante goes long. Just seconds remaining. Casey Rybelt may add on some extra seconds. Bratton with De Silva. Closed down, but he rides the challenge of Brillante. De Silva still back out. Macarthur just trying to take the sting right out of these final seconds. Bosniak heads for the corner flag. How long can he protect it? It doesn't matter. It's all over. It's a 5th match. 6th match without defeat for Macarthur FC, who start 2025 in the best possible manner. It wasn't always pretty as they held on against the 10 men of the Western Sydney Wanderers in the final minutes. It was a result built on an outstanding first half display and 3 brilliant goals from Jed Drew twice and Ariat Piol. Juan Mata got his first goal for Western Sydney and in Australia before Anthony Pantazopoulos set up a grandstand finish just moments after Dean Panekanos had been sent off. It made it difficult for Western Sydney, but they kept going, they kept fighting, and in the end they just couldn't get it across the line. A deserved victory in the end for Macarthur FC by 3-2. Well, Mossy, let's have a look at the Tobin points. Jed Drew, perhaps no surprise, he was involved in everything. He scored twice. He even provided the pass for Ariat Piol when Pelekanos was sent off. So 3 points for him. Oliver Jones at the back was outstanding again, and Marcus Antonsen worked tirelessly up front in a losing cause in the end for Western Sydney. Let's head down to Daniel Garb, who's with the man of the match.
That I am. Jed Drew, our Isuzu UTE player of the match. A double in a massive win.